Good evening, everybody. Here's the slightest part two of that shortest testimony I could possibly give. And I'll probably just have to continue just pouring my heart out as to how Jesus does work through all circumstances. And He is not the one who places the bad in our life. We do have free will, and Satan does love to place temptation in our lives. And he loves to try to conquer Jesus and to get us to go to him and not know the glory that Christ has for us. And that happened so many times in my life. But when I look back and just see how amazing Jesus just kept his little hands, big hands, wrapped around me, today, I thank him every day. And it's ironic, before my first brain surgery, granted, I didn't even have faith. I didn't even know who he was. But for some reason, I went out and bought a cross that it just, for some reason, just told me you gotta believe in you gotta believe in God somehow. And I had zero knowledge. I had no idea, but I went out, bought this very expensive cross. Mind you, I was a little tipsy on the medication that I was placed on. It didn't get along with the other one I took. So, beside that point, I had worn that cross for 3 years, never took it off. So, I mean, when I started going to church, I used to hold it and just rub it because it was what I was wearing when my ex did beat me. And I just was absolutely amazed. Um, the amazing part that when I really look at how all this works together for his glory and the amazing things that can happen through it, not just for selfishly ourselves, but for other people, is that number one, my daughter, who was so tiny when all of this was going on, she has such faith, and it happened at that perfect timing so that she would grow up with faith, and such faith that would just blow your mind away. If you've never seen a little kid at such a young age go to strangers, or say her doctor, who is of different faith, and she just went straight to him at the age of 2 and said, "Did you know that Jesus died on the cross for you?" And back then I was just learning, but she just forefronted him and told him that. And I was just amazed. It's just they're so childlike, and they're the ones who can almost teach us as adults how to be so open. And the same thing goes with all the hospitalizations I've had for my epilepsy and grand mal seizures and such, and how her and my husband saw this lady in tears about her husband just given just like a day of life left. And she just stopped the tears, and she just asked her up front, "Do you and does your husband know Jesus Christ?" I mean, she just flat out asked just to make sure that if he's gonna die, that he will be in heaven. And this lady just stopped her bawling and just smiled and just hugged her. I mean, these children just are amazing. Same thing goes with so many of the nurses that I've had at Mayo Hospital, who just absolutely heard the stories, and they hear the music I play and such, and some have just whipped over, grabbed my hand, and had unbelievable prayers with me, and it would just blow your mind away at the hearts through him. So, you gotta learn how to, even when it's a huge suffering. I don't just have epilepsy. I can go down a line and a list of things. Um, so that's why I just encourage you just to come talk to me. My account that I usually talk about health is www.twitter.com/epilepsycures. Granted, like I said, I have so many different types of illnesses. Um, there have been days that are hard to get up off the couch. Granted, with him, that's when I'm able to. And he is one amazing God. And I've seen these stories and read these stories and talked and counseled with so many people that have that same trouble. And just know that you've got to just reach out. You got to have that faith. You've got to read that scripture that he's consoling us with. And he's going to turn all this stuff that gets into our lives and he's going to use it for his glory and reach out to others, perhaps that we know or don't know, and absolutely touch lives and change them. So just know that it will all be used for good with faith. So, like I said, come visit me, come talk to me. All I can say is that looking back at all the circumstances, even with abuse, overdosing, near death, going into coma from it, but awakening, knowing that Christ is the one who saved me, with just whispering into his ears for another chance. He has plans, and he has plans for you too. And he will conquer through everything that you're going through. He will conquer it, but you've got to have that faith and you've got to go to him and you've got to actually have that support group. And on a support group that doesn't have that faith, you've got to have that support group with faith, or it's just not the same. You have to have people who lift you up and not drag you down. So, just come to me and others that have faith and know that, you know what, we're all here for you. We'll help see you through. And of all, God will see you through. And so just come see me at www.twitter.com/epilepsycures and the few other postings you'll find on that account. God bless each and every one of you. And know that I'm still here today because of God. God bless you.